Hey guys, it's ESA193 and I'm here to tell you how to fix your red ring of death on your Xbox 360. Now, before you can fix it, you obviously need to know what the problem is. The red ring of death is caused from overheating by this GPU, and when the GPU overheats so much, the soldering around it actually becomes loose and the GPU becomes loose from its socket. Now, the GPU sits under this tiny little crappy metal heatsink right here. Overheating is not extremely hard for this. The reason why it overheats so much is because when Microsoft designed the Xbox 360 and they put the DVD drive in it, they didn't have enough room to make the heat sinks bigger for sufficient cooling. So they made the heat sinks smaller, leading to millions of broken Xboxes. Normally they work fine, but just a tiny bit of dust can eventually cause overheating, and excessive temperatures for a long time from hours upon hours of gaming can eventually leave you with a crippled Xbox. Fortunately, there is a way to fix this. I'm not going to be taking apart my Xbox to show you because I do not have the red ring of death. I just had an overheating issue, but I have successfully seen it fixed, and I will tell you how to fix it. Now, the first thing you want to do is remove your motherboard completely from the bottom metal chassis. If you look at my other video, there's a link on how to completely remove your Xbox 360 case. So once you've removed the motherboard from the chassis, there are two X-clamps holding on the GPU and CPU heatsinks. Now, one of the other reasons why we keep getting the red ring, besides overheating, is the X-clamps, which is, they just look like an X, they hold on the heatsinks from the back, put excessive stress on the motherboard. That's why I recommend not leaving your Xbox 360 standing up, as this puts excessive stress on your Xbox. Leaving it in a downward position allows, obviously, gravity to take its toll, so there's not as much stress on your motherboard. So now what you're going to want to do is, I've linked you to some special parts that will help soften the load on your Xbox and hopefully fix your GPU. You're going to need washers, you're going to need screws, you're going to need new thermal compound, and you're going to need a little bit of time. So now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the X-clamps like I have linked. You're going to remove the X-clamps. I've linked you to a page that shows you how to do this and also provides the links for the parts. And what you're going to want to do is completely remove all the old thermal paste off the chips and then put down your new metal washers and refit the same CPU and GPU heatsink. Now remember, you're going to want to excessively clean these heatsinks. Get all the thermal compound off of them, otherwise it will not make good conductivity between the CPU, GPU, and the heatsinks. Once you've done this, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to heat this back up. Yeah, we don't want to put excessive heat on the GPU, but by putting excessive heat on the GPU after we fixed it, allows for the solder to remelt and reseat your GPU. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your DVD drive over here back in on this. Then you're going to want to take your fan back here, and you're going to want to position it so it's over the DVD drive, but it's also over your CPU heatsink. This is your CPU right here. This is your GPU. Now, by doing this, you keep your CPU cooling, but your Xbox 360 GPU will get extremely hot. Hot enough where if you touch it, it's going to burn your finger. Now, leave this on for about a half hour, and you're going to want to let it get really hot. This is going to effectively remelt all the solder. Then you want to hook your Xbox up the way it was before, and you're going to want to let it cool off for at least an hour. You want this to go completely back down. Then what I want you to do is plug it back in, and you should have effectively fixed your Xbox 360. Now, if this doesn't work, you may try the overheating thing one or two more times, but most likely it should work the first time. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments.